Ghouls N Ghosts was the original Dark Souls. Long before the lands between were ravished by the destruction of the Elden Ring, and before King Gallant succumbed to the evil will of the Old One, there was yet another knight who stood alone against insurmountable odds. King Arthur bravely ventured forth into that darkness of the demon realm to rescue his beloved Prin, that's her name, who was taken captive by Lucifer himself. And driven forth by true and undying love, Arthur passed through the tomb-encrusted valley of the dead and over the river Styx, till face to face with the titanic Shielder, he pierced that brute through the eye and gained entry into the ruined turtle village, where the cold wind is infused by the vanquished ghosts of memory, and the rocks themselves rise up to curse a forsaken land. And there, low upon a hill of skulls, Arthur's own curse is foretold, for there awaits the firebrand. That son of a bitch won't be hit. He just evades your every move. 'Tis better to hit and run and then turn on that bastard as he tries to backstab you. Take that, you piece of crap! But the danger's hardly done. The town before you's burst to flames, the earth quakes and the fiery bats fill the air. How does Arthur stand the heat? How does he not despair when everything moves so freaking fast and one hit can knock him back into his underwear? Yeah, I get it. Dark Souls is hard. It makes you die a lot. But have you ever avoided this much shit after some asshole magician turns you into a duck? Finally, face to face with the flaming hound of hell, Arthur unleashes his fury, subdues the beast, and gains entry to the next dark realm. The devils lift toward infernal heights, guarded by these purple gooey knights, and green goblins swoop and swarm in a familiar pattern. Are we playing Galaga? Is this still the same game? Watch out, my friend. Whatever you do, don't grab that blue flame. And then this happens, and I'll never understand either what these things are, or how any of these platforms make sense. Are these living mountains? How is it that their tongues are pink? And what is this upon which I ride? It comes out their mouth, but it's shaped like a log. Are they eating poop? Or are these just brown rocks? Jump, little knight, jump boldly and true. Get to the end of this level of mountains with tongues that like to eat poo, and there in the clouds awaits your ruin. The eye of the storm, Gasuto, the gatekeeper to the crystal forest and beyond. Be quick, Sir Arthur, and fire away with your blade, because thy enemy is uncharacteristically easy, but you risk injury the longer you wait. Arthur, undeterred, braved the bleak catacombs of the crystal forest and made his way down the slime-ridden slopes of the Devil's Rotten Sea Cave. He bounded across man-eating pods and battled the worm-infested hearts of Ome, guardian of the Demon's Gate, the very doorstep of Satan himself. Without the possibility of rest or respite, a campfire, or even a way to save his game, Arthur ventured forth into the King of Evil's princely domain. And is this a challenge that's reasonably balanced? Is it fair and carefully crafted? No, of course not. This is where Capcom went completely insane. Firebrand is back. Indeed, you battle his nasty sort again and again, but Arthur never gives up. He tirelessly ascends the vomit-covered ladders, dodges the spikes, and slays Astaroth, the Lord of Goblins. Not once, but twice. And there are Cyclops and Gasutos galore. It's basically a boss rush to get to the devil's door. And then horror of horrors assembles before him. Beelzebub, the Lord of Flies, takes on physical form. And even yet Arthur carries on, defeating this fearsome monster and gaining access to Lucifer's chamber beyond. And as he enters, where the Lady Prin awaits. Wait, what's this? Something is terribly amiss. Some old asshole shows up and sends me to the beginning of the entire game, because we have to be armed with the secret weapon, the Psycho Cannon, the power of St. Michael the Archangel, the champion of heaven. So then, if you manage to beat the entire game a second time, armed with the correct weapon, then access will you gain to the true final boss, Lucifer himself sitting upon his throne, shooting little lasers at you, half-heartedly. And honestly, after everything you've been through, he's really not that tough. Just hop on that old red Palooka's knee and hit him with your stuff. Thus the Lady Prin was saved, and the stolen souls of the kingdom set free. Arthur had finally defeated what the English version, for some reason, called Loki. As a warrior, Arthur was the strongest the world had ever known. He conquered both ghosts and goblins, and rescued back his girl. And while there are certain games we play today with a reputation for being a little tougher, the challenge is greatly limited by contemporary convenience, or grinding, or the use of the correct buffers. But back in 1989, when virtually every game was made to bust your balls, one game stood over the rest as the baddest of them all, and that is the story of King Arthur, a man so consumed by love that he'd battle every ghoul and ghost 1,000-fold. He'd memorize every stage so as to conquer death itself and beat the really real hardest game. The end.